Hi everyone, I'm Caitlyn Becker with WHOSAY, here with a man more recently known as Dr. Smarty Pants, Josh McDermitt from The Walking Dead. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm trying to figure out what people are going to call me now. Are they going to call me Dr. Smarty Pants? Is it going to be haircut? I kind of like Negan.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I was going to lead with that, but I like Dr. Smarty Pants better, but you're Negan now.
I'm Negan. Sorry, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. You're off the show. I'm Negan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, that is quite a villain.
He does such a great job because he brings like a warmth and almost like a kindness to the character. Seriously, as vicious as Negan is, there's like very much a likability that he has when he smiles. He's like trying to crack jokes. Like, I feel like if the series had followed Negan instead of Rick, we would be siding with Negan at this point. But I don't know. There's just something. I don't know. I'm full Negan, so maybe that's all it is. Maybe that's why you're giving me looks like, what is he talking about? I'm Negan.
Well, there is something about that type of personality that creates those sort of psychopaths that people follow. I mean, if you look at someone like Charles Manson, his followers all said he was, warm and devoted. And I think that's how Negan as a villain is so different than a lot of villains that we've seen on television, because he is so abusive, but then draws you in and calls you his best friend. So someone like Eugene is a little, I don't know, I have to imagine thrown for a loop, and I think because of his fear factor, anything that is going to preserve his life is something that he's doing. But is he really full Negan? I can't imagine he's going to turn his back on his people fully in his heart.
Well, that I don't know, because I told Scott Gimple, our showrunner, that I didn't want to know what Eugene's full intentions were, because I'm not a good actor. I'll start playing that, I'll be like doing everything with a little wink, like, I'm Negan, I don't want to do that. So I just said, I don't want to know, and I'll just be surprised. But I think if you really take a step back and look at the circumstances surrounding why Eugene said that, there was an interesting line right before Eugene says, I'm Negan, and it's from Negan, and he says, hey, you don't have to be scared anymore. And he says it in such a soft, like, warm tone that you can't help but go, oh, Negan cares about this guy. And I think Eugene, that's all he ever wants, is to not feel that fear that he's been feeling for the last, however many episodes we've seen this. And that's exactly why he turned over to the dark side.
Last night's episode, or for those of you who are watching this, it wasn't last night, it will be last Sunday's episode. I feel like we really got to see Eugene in a way that we haven't before. I mean, we get to see Eugene's intelligence come out in little bits and pieces, and we get into his character and his psyche as little bits and pieces, but it's usually around some sort of trouble. Someone's trying to kill him, someone is trying to kill his friends, and so we get those pieces, but we really kind of got to get into your character in the most recent episode. Was that interesting for you to be able to dive into Eugene a little bit more and spend some time on him and his interactions with new people?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you said, we kind of see a little glimpse. Last night, it definitely was just kind of a mixture of everything, where his intelligence, yes, he knows things, like he has a photographic memory, he knows science things. He's a manipulator. He's able to talk himself out of situations. He's constantly playing chess with people, and he knew that he was about to get screwed over by Negan's wives, and so he called them out on it. And it's like, that was fun to just kind of have everything kind of come together at once. There was a lot of synergy there, and it's always fun to do that and to play with, play with Jeff and Austin Emilio, who plays Dwight, and also the wives and the female savior. It was fun. It felt a little weird too, because this was also a community that I don't know much about. And at this point in the season when we're shooting, half the crew is starting to take other jobs because they got to put food on the table for their families, so they're just going to keep that rolling. And so walking into that situation, being a little uncomfortable, not really knowing anyone, reaching out, I don't really know half the crew now either, haven't really worked with Jeff or Negan's wives or anything like that. I think it all helped the performance of Eugene being a little uncomfortable. So it was a lot of fun.
And there's been a sort of a marked turn in how this season has progressed in terms of violence. I think that a lot of people were really shocked by how the show came back. And for me, this is quite possibly one of my favorite shows of all time, any of you who actually follow me and know me know that, I my favorite part about the show is the fact that you get this sort of action and survival sequences, but we really get into the characters, and it's very simple. All they need to do is survive. They need to survive the day, they need to survive the week, the month, they just need to survive. And I think when we got into that very sort of violent beginning, I felt like it took away from that a little bit, or we got a little bit sort of off track, and I feel like we're very much back onto how your character is going to live to the next day and how the characters are going to live to the next day. Did you guys feel on set that it was a little very violent at the beginning, and then you've kind of gone back to your roots a little bit at this point?
Well, I mean, we're always very aware of whether or not the violence is gratuitous. We never want to do that, and we didn't feel like the violence in the first episode was gratuitous. We felt like it was very justified, because what that ends up doing is setting the table, shifting things for our survivors, so they understand, okay, now if I'm going to make it to the next day, these are the pieces that I'm playing with. And it was always justified, and as brutal as it was, like, we had to show the brutality of this man, and the fact that they thought, look, Rick's group always thought they were winning. They're like, this is great, we got this under control. We really needed to show that they lost big time, and not just Rick or a couple of them. Everyone needed to be devastated, and they've had to figure out how to pick up the pieces and get back to it. I mean, it's not one of those things where Negan's going to be bashing someone's heads in every episode, but that threat is still there, and our survivors know that, and that just makes getting to the next day that much harder.
What was it like for you guys as a cast to lose the characters of Glenn and Abraham?
It sucks. I mean, these are some of our closest friends. You know, you don't move to Georgia and shoot a show like this and not grow close with people. And Stephen Young was one of the first people to reach out to me from the show. He had sent me an email, said, "Hey, we're working together on Friday. My name's Steve, and if you ever need anything, let me know." And I was like, nobody does that on shows. Like, people are always in their own world. And I flew out to Georgia with Michael Cudlitz, and these two guys, along with Christian Serratos, I mean, I was very close with all of them, and for those two pillars within our cast to be removed, it didn't just affect me, it affected everybody. But the great thing is, there's such leaders on the show that their fingerprints are still everywhere, and it sucks to not have them there, but they still feel very much a part of the show.
How was joining the show? I mean, it was already very established, and I think it's so fascinating, the parallel between how Rick's group attaches themselves or accepts new characters and new people into their group in the same way that fans of the show will either accept your character or they will shun your character. So how was it for you joining this very sort of established show and then group? Yeah,
I mean, I came in season 4. At this point, it was a hit show. It was my favorite show.
It's hard not to be. It's so good.
It's such a great show. And I'm not a zombie guy. I'm not like a horror, fan, because I get very scared. But I watch this show because it's a show that's not about the zombies. It's about these survivors. And so that's what drew me in. And I was very aware of the fact I'm walking into this, machine, this hit show. And I thought, I'm going to be the guy that screws up his favorite show. And I didn't want that. You talk to Michael Cudlitz, you talk to anybody who shows up now, they all say that. They're like, I don't want to be the one that, like, the sore thumb sticking out. And the great thing is, it starts with Andrew Lincoln, Greg Nicotero, Scott Gimple, everyone in charge. Like, they're very welcoming, and they say this is how we do things, and it's very loose and comfortable. And they let you know right away, like, there's a reason you're here, so just do what you do, and everything's going to be fine. And it's a great situation. It's an amazing show to be a part of. And we'll have veteran actors. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's been around forever, comes in and goes, "Wow, I've never seen anything like this. This is amazing."
The quality of the show, I think, in addition to how we view it as fans, I have to imagine from on the back end has to be so unique to see the amazing sort of hair and makeup and how the extras come in and the fight scenes, and everything looks as real as you could imagine something like this to look. What is it like shooting those very sort of difficult, violent, bloody scenes with the walkers?
It's crazy. I mean, the number one, they're a lot stronger than you think they are.
Because they're not dead.
Because they're not really dead. They actually have muscles, and they're stunt people most of the time. They're trained to attack you. And I'm always like, ouch, that hurt, their makeup looks amazing. Like, I always want to stop down and just like inspect it, like what I had to wear towards the end of season 6 and for the first part of season 7, I had to wear like a piece because like part of my, I had like bruising. So I had to go into the special effects makeup trailer to get all that done. And it's fascinating to sit there and watch everything they do. I mean, if I wasn't an actor, I would probably do special effects makeup because they make it look so real. And you see shows and movies, sometimes you can tell when it's like, oh, it's a mask, or you can tell it's a little fake. You can't tell with these zombies and all the special effects makeup. This Greg Nicotero and his whole crew at K&B, they do such a wonderful job, and it's like just about every movie I watch now, I look and see who did the special effects, and 9 times out of 10 it's K&B. They're pretty amazing.
The effects are incredible, and the set and the scenery and the location that you guys shoot in feels, it just has sort of an eerie quality to it because the way you guys shoot it, it feels so sort of desolate.
It's almost like another character.
It really is.
Yeah.
I have to wonder, how hot is it when you shoot?
It's miserably hot.
Because you guys, I don't know, I never can tell if they're just sort of spritzing you with sweat, but everybody looks really hot.
It's real sweat. I mean, for most of the season, it's real sweat because sometimes, the show will last filming until like November where it's starting to get chilly and they have to spray us down and then it gets cold. But most of the time, that's real sweat, They spray sunscreen on us too, just because we're out in the sun and we start to glisten and whatnot. And I don't know. Nobody really smells bad though, which is kind of nice. Everybody's like, what's Norman Reedus smell like? Tell him to take a bath. I'm like, Norman smells wonderful.
I've interviewed him. He smells delightful.
He smells delightful. But yeah, we're all sweaty and we're all just kind of sticky and all that stuff. And
I interviewed Norman a few years ago, and I remember when I sat down with him, he said that the only thing he really wanted for his character that he kept asking for and they kept saying no was a dog. Is there anything you want Eugene? All he wanted was a dog. He thinks, I also agree. I feel like Daryl's the kind of guy that would find a dog and it would be like his buddy in this world. Is there anything that you want Eugene to be able to do? Like, I'd love Eugene to get sort of a girlfriend. I think that'd be nice.
Oh, that's funny you say that. In the next episode, Eugene gets a dog, actually.
Really?
He's gonna piss off. Norman doesn't know about this. He's gonna be pissed. No, it's funny you bring up the girlfriend. Like everybody they call it shipping in the fandom. They want a relationship between two characters. So like, oh, I ship Rosita and Eugene. Everybody's like, when is Eugene gonna get a girlfriend? I'm like, he's been kidnapped by Negan. Why are we talking about him getting a girlfriend?
Because everybody thinks Eugene just needs some love.
I don't know that that's a good thing for this show, though. Every time people fall in love, it's like, the clock starts ticking.
That is very, very true.
Keep those women away from Eugene.
There's something, I think, extremely different about how The Walking Dead shoots and airs episodes, and how they take their characters. I feel like if you watch any other kind of show, here's the show, and then every once in a while you'll get sort of a one-off where you go into one or two characters' lives and then you kind of come back. The way The Walking Dead works, we could go 2 episodes and not see you or see your storyline, and then we come back and it's a full storyline for you. Is that unique in how you guys actually film things? Do you not actually see your fellow castmates for weeks at a time, or is it all kind of shot together?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, when like back in season 5, when everyone was together, we were like on the road together. We hung out. We all live in the same neighborhood in Atlanta. We're all hanging out together all the time. And now in season 7, we were so split up. Everyone's in different communities. No one sees each other because if I got 2 episodes off, that's like a month of filming. So I'm not hanging out in Atlanta. I'm traveling. I'm going to New York or LA and seeing friends and family and whatnot. We don't really see each other at that point. That makes it tough, but it also, we're able to use a lot of that into the show too, we've become so close as with our friendships and stuff that we don't see someone, it affects us, and then we're able to use that for our characters as well.
People have so many questions about where certain characters are going. Do you think that for Eugene, we're going to get him to be a little badass or a little brave soon?
Yeah, he gets a dog, and it's an attack dog. It's like a pit. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, what?
I feel like Eugene, I mean, if we watched this last week's episode, a lot of what he was moving in that direction already. He's had the confidence at times to be a badass. I feel like that's being reinforced more and more as he's hanging out with Eugene.
I want Eugene to kill Negan. I know everybody does.
I don't know. I kind of like Negan now.
I'm
Negan. What, he's going to kill himself? Is that what you want?
I know. You're Negan.
But he was wearing like, at the beginning of the episode, he's wearing like a white shirt and like very, good guy. And then towards the end of the episode, he's wearing dark clothes.
I did notice that.
Yeah. So we not just saw the transition. We didn't just see the transition with, outwardly with what he was saying and stuff like that, but just like with the physicality, his clothes, he's moving in that direction. And even at the end, he's like bossing people around. That's something that we haven't seen with Eugene. He's a guy that likes to retreat and be, in his own world, leave me alone. I just want to like sit here and read a book.
We
or
kind of
play
saw it
video
when he took the
games.
bedpan, when he just started taking things. When someone said you had to, at first you were gifted some pickles, and then it's you have to take what you want here.
Yeah.
That was my favorite line too. I was gifted these pickles. Favorite line in the whole episode. We sort of see him shift in how he's doing things, but I feel like he's playing the long game, and you don't have to tell me anything because you don't know, but I feel like he's playing the long game, and ultimately he's going to come through for his people.
Well, we'll see. He's got a bedpan, so I feel like things are looking up for him.
Things are definitely looking up. The other big question is Carol.
Okay.
Carol just isn't Carol anymore. I miss badass Carol. I miss Take No Prisoners Carol.
Yeah?
Are we going to get Take No Prisoners Carol back?
That I can't say anything about that. I'm with you though. I mean, Carol's one of my favorite characters, and I feel like that she very much runs parallel with Eugene in terms of their arc. I mean, these are two people that basically have no survival skills and shouldn't be alive at this point in the apocalypse, but somehow they've both figured out ways, and she's gone even further with it. So, you talk about Eugene being a badass. I would love to see him move into more of a Carol type of role. In fact, if we want to ship two people, I wouldn't mind Eugene and Carol hooking up.
Yeah?
Everybody wants Daryl and Carol, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because
Well, it
I
was
feel
such
like
a
that's
thing
more
in
of
the
a
beginning.
brother-sister, mother-son relationship.
Well, I feel the same thing with Rosita and Eugene. I
Yeah,
just feel
Rosita's
like she just takes care
a
of him,
sister,
and like that's
but
not gonna.
Rosita's like his sister, but it's like a sister he wants to sleep with.
Well, she's hot, so
Come on.
don't blame you, Eugene. I don't blame you. The fans on the show, certainly myself included, are obsessive. Obsessive fans. I mean, you're having fans of the graphic novels, you're having fans of the show, all the seasons. How do you interact with them? I mean, are they just going at you on social media trying to get all the secrets coming up, or do they leave you be?
It comes and goes. I mean, I like to mess around with them. And like I said, I myself was a fan, so I feel very fortunate to be in this position, and I understand what it's like to be a fan of this show. So I try and goof off with them. They know I'm not going to give them any information. I try to not even tease. The only thing I would ever tease about is just because I know, Daryl is such a beloved character, that I would say, oh, you guys are going to be so sad when Daryl dies in the next episode, or whatever, You're
so cruel.
And they, like, just to watch people freak out. I've made that joke enough that most people know. But even when we were trying to figure out who Negan killed, like, I wouldn't make that joke about Daryl, because I didn't want, because he was in the lineup. It could have been him. So I refrained from that. But yeah, people definitely wanted to know who Negan killed. Now they all want to know, what's Eugene's intentions by saying he's Negan? Is he really a part of the dark side? And it's fun. It's nice to get, people who care. I've been on shows that people don't care about. Now I'm on a show that everyone cares about, and it's night and day, and it's pretty awesome.
What is it like for you as an actor to be on a show like this? A show that it feels like a career maker.
Absolutely. I mean, it's life-changing. It's not just, in terms of the recognition that, the eyeballs coming to the TV and stuff like that. I've, been in Europe, chased down the street by fans in France, like, for instance, like Michael Cudlitz and I were there, and they're just like hanging outside our hotel. Like, I don't know how they found out where we were staying, and then we left and they chased us.
I can imagine your haircuts don't stick out.
Yeah, well, he's got that stupid mustache. He can't, like, I can at least tuck this up or something, but he can't get away from that. But it's one of those things that's like, sometimes we feel like we're in a bubble in America, and we know it airs worldwide within the same week as it airs in the U.S., but once you get outside the U.S. and you really see how big this show is, it's magnificent, and it's fun to be a part of something like that, But like I was saying, it's not just a part of the recognition, it's the fact that we get to be a part of a show with such great writing and great acting, and to have that camaraderie and the bonding with other people. I don't know, Michael Cudlitz, like, he's been around, he's a grandfather, he's like been around for 70 years in acting. Even he talked about how special this show is, and that it's only come around like 2 or 3 times in his career for him. it doesn't happen on every show. We've really caught something special. It's great.
Well, I really think that is so much of a testament to the actors that they chose for these roles. They didn't really pick household names.
No.
They picked the right kinds of people for the characters, and they weren't banking on a name to bring you in. I think we saw that as well very much with Breaking Bad and with Mad Men. I mean, you recognized a lot of the people from other projects, but they're not you're not booking J-Lo to come in here, and do this. And I think that gave you guys the opportunity to really act and just do what you do.
Yeah, look, if I was a household name, I probably wouldn't be on this show. You're right. It's people that, I don't know, we've talked about it a lot. There's several actors, myself included, that were kind of at a crossroads in our career where we were trying to figure out what is the next step. And, Ross Marquand, not to tell his story too much, but he was ready to move to New York and kind of do photography, like give up acting. And he got an audition notice for this show. He loved it. He's like, well, I'll give this a shot. It's almost like a lot of and myself included, like I was just kind of like, I don't know what I'm about to do next. I need a job and whatever. You enter that casting room with like I got nothing to lose. I'm going to move to New York and do photography, so might as well give this a shot. It's like, sometimes we walk into an audition with so much desperation, like, oh God, I really want this. Yeah, of course we want it, but it's like, I got nothing to lose, let's give it a shot. And I feel like that time and time again has happened with this show, with a lot of the actors. We were like lost children, and we found our way back,
And then a bunch of zombies showed up.
And a bunch of zombies showed up, and we all got behind Norman Reedus and let him kill him for us. Freaking out.
Before I let you go, can you try maybe and promise me one thing, that they won't cut your hair?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Because it's the best.
It's not in my contract, but I got to figure out a way to keep it in get it in my contract, because
it is the character.
It's the character, and there's like people make jokes about it, and I'm a comedian too. Like I mess around. I love goofing off. You do not make jokes about cutting the mullet. This is how I make money.
I think you wear it quite well in the real world. It's funny how it kind of sticks out on the show of being just ridiculous. I think because everybody's so dirty and such a mess, and you've kept your hairstyle is such a Eugene thing.
The man loves his mullet.
He loves his mullet, but I kind of feel like you wear it well.
Well, thank you. I mean, there are times that I wish I didn't have it, but I wouldn't want to cut it on the show. I'd rather be off the show and then cut it. I don't want to leave the show. There's a lot at stake here. I feel like I'm saying things I shouldn't be saying. I want to be on the show forever.
That would be the most vicious and unfortunate death that Negan could impose, is to lose Eugene's hair.
Yeah, he's like distracted, like getting a haircut, a little trim.
A little trim would send the fans
taking a little off around the ears, and then he gets stabbed in the head.
How is Judith still alive? How is that
She's
possible?
still alive?
Yeah, isn't Judith still around?
Oh yeah.
Like, how this baby is fine. Like, they always just leave Judith, and somehow she emerges.
There's like moments where a lot of it's in season 5, where like the beginning of a scene will have Rick holding the baby, and then he just passes it off to someone, just to get the baby out of the scene. Have you ever shot a TV show with a baby?
No.
It's a nightmare.
Oh, poor Judith.
Judith, we get like a new Judith every week. I think that's another reason why we haven't seen Judith much, because
and the
she's
heat,
growing
like
up.
Judith in the heat. Oh,
crabby. It's usually twins, so it's like twice as crabby. I love those babies, but I do not like working with children, and they say don't work with animals either.
And now you have a dog.
And now Eugene's getting a dog.
Oof.
Sorry, Norman.
Norman's gonna be pissed. Norman's gonna be pissed. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. This has been fun.